Really?
Check.
Effective ways to not get stopped out.
Oof.
That's a good question.
Loosen up that stop. uh, well, I mean, I guess I kind of need a little more context to, like, maybe the time frame and stuff you're trading.
So really, I've kind of been testing out. I was using advanced throughout the week and beginner, and what I was running into a lot is literally what I predicted with my trend lines and all that stuff actually happened. I just got stopped out before it happened.
Okay. What time frame are you doing?
I was doing 5 minute. I was using a Fisher from the 15 minute though.
Okay. What were you trading?
Of course, anything related to music, man, is crypto. But it doesn't have to be, crypto
Yeah.
to
I
kind of
would
cover.
I would probably get off beginner and advanced. I would move over to the scalper. Advanced, it really we've been needing to adjust it for a while, and so with this new update that's coming pretty soon, it'll definitely be a lot more refined. But beginner also, it's gonna require a lot of confirmation to get you into a trade. Like right here, I'm on scalper one, and we have a scalper two beta, but not everybody has it. But scalper one so far in 2022, this market is like just amazing. Like I'm on the 1 minute right here on my chart. It's crazy. This is why I'll show you guys like all the reasons I switched from the 5 to the 1 minute. But so far this year, it's definitely fitting my trading style a lot better. Yeah, I would. I mean, where are you placing your stops? Are you placing them in the correct places? As far as like the
So,
previous support or the resistance or
so what of course, I did my support resistance from the weekly and the monthly,
okay.
and then for the first half of the week, I just had that. I didn't use the daily because it just kind of really crowded the chart.
Yo yeah.
Um, but then I was like, okay, let me add the daily, and what I would do is sometimes I would use the daily, um, put my stop below it, but it was a hard stop. Then sometimes I would use the Vision S and R because sometimes those lines came into play too.
Oh yeah.
And most of the time it would literally just wick me out or go down and then literally go the direction. But I remember, you kind of drew the rectangle at some point.
Uh huh.
Um, and I tried that, and of course, what ended up happening was I suffered a real bad loss. It was kind of like trying to find the medium between the two.
um, you might try something. Are you usually in and out pretty quick, or you kind of hold for a number of minutes?
I try to be in and out. I kind of had a profit that I like to see, and then that's when I would sell. It was only like $20.
Okay.
When I saw $20 in profit, I tried to get out.
Let's see here real quick. 0, 2, 5.
Dot USD is one of them. That
That he's trading.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna show kind of just generic.
I've been doing ETH all week. He can stay on ETH.
Okay. So
ETH
you
has
could
been looking
use
good.
you could use a EMA line as kind of like a place to stick uh, your stop, basically. I, if we're trading stocks, I would use probably like a 9, and you can almost use it as kind of like a trailing stop that you don't have to place. Like if we went in on this bear signal, we would just keep riding it until it broke that 20 EMA. It still hasn't broken, so we're still holding it. And maybe like this bull signal, if you didn't get faked out right there, it's kind of the same thing. You just keep holding it until it breaks it, and so then once it finally breaks it, you can get out. But that's that's something. I mean, you might do on crypto. I'm not a big crypto trader, so I don't want to give you too much advice. But um, if you're getting wicked out too many times, I would say your stops are too tight. So you might just move them down a hair, or move them up a hair, whichever way you're going.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm literally looking at what you're looking at right now. Um, and yeah, I started using the 21 EMA or the 20 EMA.
This should be the 20, I think, is what. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, I definitely tried to start using that a little bit more throughout the week. Everything this week has kind of just been on test account, trying to just get some experience.
I feel you. Let me look real quick. Wonder why it looked a little different to me. Just gonna place some lines in here real quick. No switch. That's better. Scalpers might be a little too crazy for cryptos.
Yeah, that's why I was really looking at the advanced
Yeah.
because it was less as busy. And when I mentioned beginner, but I actually, what you might want to actually look at too, check out the 1 minute on beginner.
I think I know what you mean. uh, See, like with the scalper too, it can be busy at times when it's like really choppy and in a consolidation period, but I still pay attention to where the signals are, because like this bull signal right here clearly popped off of that support that I had, and then the same thing over here popped off of it again, and then made a little higher, a higher low right here, and started to trade up. So let's just trying to help you out and just kind of give you an idea of how to play stops. So let's say you entered in that right there. Just, and we got to take crypto volatility into account, of course. I would probably bring my stop all the way like down here. That's probably where
If that's where you're placing your stop, I definitely see what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, I think you're probably just too tight for crypto, especially on the 5 minute. Like 5 minute, I mean, you got so many moves going on, and it's so fast. I'm not trying to recommend you to switch time frames, even though it's probably a good idea for crypto. But yeah, especially like this with this big swing right here where it came down. That's probably where I'd put it. I'm trying to find just another spot here and get an idea. Let's see. That's pretty decent, but yeah, okay, so let's just say we jumped in on that bear signal right here because it got resisted, it's made a lower high, and ready to send it. Since all of this was getting smacked up here by this resistance at, let's just call it 34.20, there's a ton of resistance up there, so the chances of it getting back above that probably not very high, so I'll just kind of stick it above that instead of above right here You know, because that's the first place it's gonna break, if it does break it. So, yeah, I would probably go up here. Just kind of look. I would say just look a little bit more left, maybe, and just get an idea of where it could really swing to stop you out, and where you, in case it does swing up there toward your stop, where you would definitely want to not be in it anymore. Where maybe that
I
threshold would
definitely
be
see what you mean.
where the pain will start. This is what I always look at every time I look at crypto is 15 minute.
Yeah, like that last short. Bear signal. Sorry, I took that. Um, it was on a beginner signal, so I got in like that support is not drawn, but let's see, that's one,
Right in here.
3, 4. I'll go over to your right a little bit. Yeah, around there, around there. So it broke that. The bear signal popped up on beginner, so I
Okay.
just took that.
Are you still in it?
Let me grab my phone and see.
Set it and forget it.
It's up $21 right now.
Hell yeah. What are you trading
0.
that on?
T4, Cedar FX.
Hell yeah. What side? What? Just a 0.01?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And sorry, I muted myself accidentally. I kind of like that because kind of helps me with the risk side of things
Yeah.
because it's so like reset. Uh, so that's why I know with a 0.01 lot, I can easily make like $20 per trade. Um, you know,
Yeah.
so it goes kind of the direction I'm looking for, at least on ETH, on a smaller time frame.
Yeah, it won't kill you if you if it goes against you on a 0.01 either. Hell yeah.
But check out that 1 minute
Oh
on
yeah.
the beginner. Then you'll be surprised what you see.
It's like swing trading on the 1 minute.
Yeah, you got that little consolidation right there, but it's pretty like up and down.
Yeah. Shit, I might have to start looking at that.
Those are actually some pretty good swing signals.
Yeah.
That's what I've kind of been looking at the last couple of days, and
Using those take profits, that's nice.
Just gotta decide which one you want to do. Hell yeah. I just have a patience issue. Okay, I'm gonna.
Maybe instead of beginner, we should call it swing.
Just gonna slap some lines in here. Don't expect them all, but. Man, my kids don't listen. I told them go to bed. They laughed at me. Not really, but they're still awake.
Why would they go to bed?
Yeah. Why would you listen to Dad? But go grab a switch off that tree, boy.
So I'm set up in the basement right now, and one of mine snuck up on me a while ago.
Oh, scare the crud out of me.
This is two.
Oh yeah, because like I was deep into it.
Let's see, 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, there's 3 areas here I'm gonna grab from the previous day, and this little area right here towards the close. Make that wide so we can differentiate it. It kind of gets supported here, and then I want no, that's not where I said to put it, guy. There you go. There you go, Jimmy. Right there. Oh, eBay still on.
You know that drop on Tesla right there? That reminds me of the old days. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it was old days, it would have fell lower, but
Well, I mean,
I had
you know.
I had a blue box actually marked there. I should have bought calls right there. Because I was like, yeah, that's probably where it's going to bounce. And then it bounced there, and I was like, hey, I'll see you later.
You're like, why didn't I buy calls?
Bye! Anyway, so the 1 minute just fits my style more. Trading in and out, definitely not beginner. Settings, scalper 1, like I said, for everybody that doesn't have scalper 2, it's just going to be scalper in your setting, but I mean, hopefully you can see why. Kind of the same as like we were just seeing on crypto. If it consolidates, don't expect a whole lot, but yeah, I don't know. 5 minute was just man, I have patience issues, I guess. And I don't have all my lines in here, so don't judge. But what I do have is good. So actually, you know what? There's a couple things I want to kind of go over with everybody. I'm going to change this pre-market high line. I know we went over it a million times, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to make it a solid line, and I'm going to make it as bright as possible. Okay. And I'm going to mark the pre-market low, same color, and same deal, just so you guys can see. Okay. Yeah, I do have a lot of lines on my chart. And then we'll show you something on the daily real quick. So, VWAP still on. Hang on, damn it, all my lines are gonna come up. You know what, let me just do this. Let me open a second tab here so I can show you without anything on here. And if any of you guys seen that secret sauce indicator that I had Josh draw up, it showed like previous days highs and lows. There we go. No, guy, that's not what. Okay. There you go. I'm trying to get it to just get rid of that green candle there. No, guy. Click on this one. There we go. Okay. So, just so everybody understands this concept real quick. This will not, let me change it to full candles here. This will not just stay sideways. Let me just draw a candle here and just say, okay, that's going to be tomorrow's candle. This will not do that. There could be an inside bar, which is just like this, and it not break the high up here of this candle or the low here of this candle. But the chance of an inside bar coming is pretty slim, especially on Tesla. On something that's less volatile, I might believe you. But especially on Tesla and most things, we are going to have either a higher candle like this, or we're going to have a lower candle like this. You guys get what I'm saying? What I'm saying is it has to go up or down. Kind of the rules, right? So, knowing that, if I take this and I put it right here for that candle, let's just say that's the range, okay, for this candle. What I want to do tomorrow, and it kind of goes back to what Prim was showing everybody as well. You want to pay attention to the high and to the low. One of those are going to break tomorrow. It's your job to find out which one that's going to be. In my opinion, probably going to be the bottom. But so if you come over here, let me zoom back in here. So this was at days, and we're looking at it right here. So since we've already broken below it, it would be safe to play the short side. Because now it's got a very good chance of today's daily candle going lower. And it might not stay down all day. It might come back up and go higher than this area right here. But the point is that we've broken the bottom of it. So likely it's going to be, on the daily chart, it's going to be a candle that sits lower than the previous day that we've seen. I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but it's kind of hard to explain. And this yellow box is just super bright right now. So hit the replay mode, we'll speed it up. Can I see where it got resisted and supported right there? There's a reason for it. So anyway, so broke lower, you buy puts if it breaks lower than that area. So going back here, I don't know why I'm on replay mode right here, but you can see where it broke lower, and so your profit, basically your entry would be right here at the bottom. Yeah, on this one with all the drawings on it. So your entry would be at the low of that day, and you'd want to ride it down till you found the need to take profit. So there was about $36.50 there, and as it came back up above it, you could have bought calls, once it finally got back above it. But same thing for if we're looking at this big red candle again, if it opened here and started shooting up, I'll make that a little brighter so everybody can see it. If it opened here and then shot up and it broke this high of the previous day, can you guys see all that? Can you all see that white line? If it broke the white line, then you would buy calls right there, because we're thinking about the premise of this chart just can't stay sideways, the same size candles every day, sideways, 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 sideways. Can't do it. The fucking thing would get delisted. There's no trade. You can't trade that. So knowing that it has to break either the top or the bottom of the candle, the high or the low, then that's how you could trade it easily. And the same thing back with like what Prim was saying, the way Prim trades his options. He waits for either the bottom or the top to get broken, and he plays calls or puts based on that. Sometimes it doesn't work out, like this candle here. You got this whole thing on the inside, and that's okay. You could have seen that it bounced here and then came up, and you could have played calls off the support of the previous day low. But then the next day, when it breaks below that sucker, it's puts all day. then this day it gapped down, puts, and it finally broke this line here. You can see it here in the wick. Finally broke that call. Same thing, call. And then this one broke the lows of these 3 puts. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Make it make sense. It's hard to explain. Hard. It makes sense in my head. I know that. This is a great way to swing trade, man. I just wish I had the patience for it. Man, I really wish I had the patience to swing trade stuff. Because doing this on like the 1 hour time frame, like just for like, like overnighters, just something to hold overnight, The 1 hour would be perfect, or the 4 hour, 2 hour, whatever you want to do. Like look at the green candle here, the bottom of this green candle, where it opened. You could even go to the low if you wanted to, but as soon as that sucker broke, doop, 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 just started trickling down. And then when it made a red to green day, and that's what this is. This is a red to a green day because it opened and then closed above this red candle here. Red to green day. Other people saw it and they started to buy it up, and it went a little higher, but eventually it went green to red. I mean, just trading those red to green days or green to red days is just money. I just don't have the patience to swing trade. If there's any swing traders that want to trade for me, let me know. Yeah, they were. Yeah, so the 1 minute's been really good. I'll go back to the other chart for that, since I got some lines on there. That makes sense.
The bad thing about swinging options is the theta. Doesn't that still apply to after hours?
It just depends on after hours. It doesn't matter because you can't trade them there anyway. But theta just, if you were planning on swinging something, I definitely would buy at least a few weeks away, or don't trade them at all.
Right.
Like give yourself that much. Like give yourself the time. Even if it was like, oh, I'm just planning on holding this overnight, you give yourself a little extra time.
Like SPY options, they don't have that much theta, even though they're 5 days to expiration. But something like Amazon or Tesla, they're outrageous on theta.
Well, SPY probably depends on which one you buy, because they have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expiration. And SPY, I don't know if it still is, but it used to be the most option traded ticker that there is. So that might have something to do with it. Just such high option volume.
There is a lot of volume on SPY options.
It used to be, I know a couple years ago, it used to be the number one ticker that traded options, but I'm assuming it probably still is.
Yeah, that's why it's also got the lowest spreads.
Yeah, it's good stuff. There's usually always somebody to buy your stuff, when you're ready to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this 1 minute, man. 1 minute's been just on fire. The 5 was just getting, I don't know. Wasn't doing it for me, so I'm just gonna hit the replay button right here real quick. Just watch it. So, that's what I was trying to show you guys. Pre-market high, which is also the after hours high right there, and pre-market low. Pay attention to the purple lines if we come to them. Watch for support, watch for resistance. Oh, let me turn my VWAP back on here. See how strong the candle was when it broke down through that thing? There's a lot of buyers right there. Buyers of puts, by the way. A lot of short sellers. And I found that spot that I had marked up and never took the trade. Good job. so we made a higher low right there, so that's good. Broke through VWAP, that's good. Broke back above the pre-market low, that's even better. So in my mind, like when I'm seeing this, if this was like let's just say this is a low for the previous day, and I see it come down and then come back up through it, it's probably just going to be like, this is probably going to be like on the daily chart, a wick down and then come back through it. There's chances that it's going to go higher than, might be a red to green day. I'll try to draw up some stuff to this week to make more sense. It's hard to explain.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was just going to ask, say when, price consolidates above VWAP or hangs out below the VWAP, usually I'll assume that it's going in that direction. And say that it just kind of sort of breaks the VWAP but then turns back around. So like, how would I know that this is not a real break of the VWAP or a real break of, even the 20 MA?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm just doubting myself, but
no, if I see like a consolidation at like the VWAP or a resistance or a support, let's just like say VWAP, let's say, I don't know, for 30 minutes it went on here, just hanging out right here below it. That's not technically, you're probably just looking at it wrong. So the way I see it is it's getting resisted. Like they are having some real trouble trying to get above it.
It's not sustaining. Okay.
Right. So the chances of it getting above it and taking off, probably not too high. Even if it pokes its head above it, it's probably going to get slapped back down real quick. Like when you see like your Tesla right here, it dropped on the morning and then came down. When it touched that support, I don't have it drawn here, but I had it drawn Friday. When it comes down and touches a support like that, same thing with VWAP and anything else similar, like a resistance or whatever, you want to see it do what it's supposed to do there immediately. Like it comes down, it touches it, and you just want to see the buyers just come in and buy the crap out of it. Just kind of like this area right here. Vision popped a buy signal, came back for 3 minutes here, and then shot above it. It didn't take them very long at all to get that above that. So we that kind of just shows you, hey, the buyers are strong. If it was kind of just chopping down here below it, they ain't strong.
Right. Okay, so where would the entry be at a level consolidation? I think that's where I'm confused.
Where would the entry be?
After it breaks.
After it breaks it?
Okay.
So I would probably, like, this is a safe bet, Came back, got a little direction by it, but it quickly came back and shot above it. So if you wanted to wait for that much confirmation, you can. I'm not that patient. That's why you see me down here. I marked this lower high.
Yeah.
That's a very bullish sign, Okay, well, cool. We made a lower high. As long as we keep going this direction, it's pretty bullish. So then if it gets back above VWAP and it gets above the pre-market low at the same time, that pre-market low, that's why I'm showing you guys this, is the pre-market low and high are very strong for that trading day. Very, very strong. You'll see, just pay attention to the pre-market low and high tomorrow on whatever you trade, and you'll see what I mean. You see up here how many times it came up above it, it supported it here for probably 6 or 7 minutes, came back below it, got resisted by it for another 7 or 8 minutes, and popped back above it.
Okay. Now, so what if, let's say, what was my question? Okay. Oh, there it is. So if say, so I was in SPY and I'm thinking it's about to hit the resistance level. Okay, the resistance level breaks, it goes up, and I'm waiting for the next resistance level. Great. But in that move, would you be bullish or bear? Because I could get a call and ride it up to the next zone. Or what, I mean, because there's like so many resistance levels up there, I'm obviously expecting for it to come down at some point. So where would I be bear? Or where would I be bull?
I would probably have to see like specific charts you're looking at, because there's so much. I mean, there's so many
In
different,
SPY,
you know.
I was in the 1 minute in SPY Friday.
There you go.
And in there, so I had a bunch of lines from the monthly and the weekly and the trend line. So there's resistance that I had marked somewhere where it actually broke, where it was. I'm not seeing much chart in front of me right now, but I don't know. Hypothetically, if you could make one up for me, and say it breaks that level, and so of course, since it's going up, it's going to hit the next resistance level.
Yep.
But either way, you could have 2 or 3 resistance level above the one that broke. So at some point that this is going to try to come down to at least the VWAP at some point. And so when and what would you do at that point? Like what are you supposed to do when the resistance level is broken and we're going to the next resistance level? Should I get a call there?
Well, I would try to be in it as it's breaking those resistance, like, try to get in as the best entry as possible, but you want to trade and sell it into the momentum. You don't want to hold it until the momentum starts to die off.
Right.
Because if you're in something that doesn't have, the best of volume, you might get trapped in it and get a really bad fill on it, and then where you could have taken profit, you've taken a loss.
Okay.
Are you drawing any trend lines other than just support and resistance?
I am.
Okay.
I'm doing all of your trend lines, yes.
Okay. Because on the 1 minute, I see it here with SPY as well. This is one of the reasons I started trading the 1 minute this year. Because you can see, on the 1 minute,
Yep.
it shows you trends over and over. And so, when this breaks right here, I know exactly what's up now. If my box will cooperate. So when that breaks, let me turn on Vision. I bet there's probably a bear signal right there. Yeah, right back here, but same deal. And then look at the buy signal here and the buy signal here, both on that same trend line.
Once that broke, we were bear. Okay.
Yeah, and then,
right.
And then the bear signal here as this kind of bigger picture trend broke.
Mm-hmm.
Breaks it in a big downward move. And for me, if I'm above or below VWAP, my target is always my target is VWAP, always, because for me it just seems like it has a magnetic pull on the price.
Right.
So, and then another thing you can do is, since you're trading options and stuff, put a 21 EMA on your chart. Let me change the color of this real quick so it doesn't blend in with the VWAP there. And just kind of use this as a moving trend line.
Okay.
So it pops up above it, so that's a pretty bullish sign. It comes up, it tests it, and there you go. That's a higher low, because it kind of and now it's breaking this high. So that was a little higher low, and it keeps going. But when it finally starts to break it, that's going to be your exit.
Okay.
You know,
Got it.
if you wanted to enter like a bull or a bearish position there as it starts to break it, Vision's got your back there too. So, you know, like over here, when it breaks back above it, that's your exit.
And the one you're using is the not the beta version, it's the second one, right? The scalping 2.
Oh no, right. I've been using Scalper 1 this year so far. It's been
Oh, okay.
for me anyway. It's been performing better than Scalper 2.
Okay.
With Scalper 2, I mean, it's got, you know, Scalper 2 has like very very good entries, but if it's in a consolidation period, it's gonna chop around like pre-market, you know, which don't pay attention to pre-market anyway.
Okay. I was just going to ask you 2 final questions, and one of them being VPOC, or value areas from the Virgin point of controls. And the last question I had was if you could go over the Fisher one more time, sir.
So what is VPOC?
It's the Virgin point of control. It's using the volume profiles.
I know
So
what volume
like,
profile is. I've never heard
okay,
of
so
VPOC.
then the point of control from the volume profile, that thing, that line,
It's like the little red line.
right, that line is indicative of where most of the trading happens, and that line is often revisited multiple times, and it denotes possible support resistance levels. Usually, if it hasn't been revisited, so in like a higher time frame in SPY, for example, you will see a lot of Virgin point of controls, meaning those areas have not been revisited in the going bullish. So up to about 457 that I can remember off the top of my head. But
there it is.
multiple point of control areas that have not been revisited, and that there's only one point of control down below current price that has not been revisited. And so that's basically what I gathered from that.
So like the I don't know if you have this volume profile on your chart or not. This is typically the one that I use.
Yeah, it's the session volume. So
okay, yeah, you're right. It's
session
PSV,
thingy,
but
and that thing goes on like the higher time frames, on like the 1 hour or the 2 hour
one. I should have saved it. This is typically the one that I BPSV. Let me see if I can find it again. I believe it was a built-in deal. I think it was a session volume, I believe.
Yeah.
So, oops. Just real quick, do you see where the most volume was at?
Only by the red line.
Right, but do you see kind of lining up with anything else?
Just the range, yeah.
A little bit earlier about pre-market highs and lows.
Yeah.
See how it's right there at the pre-market. It just kind of goes along with like the pre-market high and low. It's just like the strongest point basically of the whole trading day, other than the previous day's low and high. Pre-market low and high, and it's like you could trade by them alone. And you see I have a little purple line there, but their volume profile is more spot on. But if you look at the volume profile, like the places we have our lines are going to be like the most traded areas. So, if you have this pre-market high marked down, then you see something like this, and then it starts to break below this. I mean, that's easy. Just buy some puts right there.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just pay attention to where the volume profile would be showing you the most volume, like alongside with the stuff you already have.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Like
And
this, the second
yeah,
biggest spot right here was kind of the open price. If we look back, let's see. Yeah, which was the low of the previous day. So that goes back to like, it's got to break the low or the high of the previous day candle so it just doesn't stay sideways and get delisted.
all right.
So I wish this thing, which me and Dawson talked about building one, is just kind of showing like a better indicator to show you like per candle or probably
Yeah,
per candle, like who's in control, like because the volume, like regular volume candles only go off of the color of the candle, but that
yeah,
doesn't say, it could be a red candle, but that doesn't mean that the sellers are in control.
yeah.
If it's like a hammer candle or like a shooting star candle or whatever, like, red candle, but the buyers are in control there. But we would need more data than what we have right now. So anyway,
Got it.
what was your other question about?
Fisher.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the good stuff, man. Fisher. Oof. That's all I need. Fisher, lines, and vision.
Okay.
Surprised it's not right here. What the hell you trying to do, boy? Trying to take my Fisher? So, I'm sure you've heard of the RSI, right?
Yes.
It's the same principle. If it's down here in the low side, especially if it's down here this low, you're looking for a long position. If it's up here at the top, you're looking for a short position.
Okay.
But with the Fisher, I notice something to pay attention to is it makes trends like very, very well. You see, like you can put a little trend line right here, and then it breaks it, and that's when a good little down move happens.
Okay.
And, like you could draw this one as well. It makes a little down move and had a little nice little move there, and then you can take a trend line and put it right through here. Anyway,
Can you do that to the more recent side, like
what do you mean?
to the current side, like the
Like the end of the day?
are you? Oh, you're in Tesla. Yeah, like going
SPY?
to the most. Either one is fine, but do it to draw the trend line to the most current, like the to the most left side, to the most
Okay.
right side.
Like what it is right now?
Yeah. Okay.
And you see, I don't know if you can see, like it's starting to cross over, like right there.
Okay.
And then, like mine might be a little off. You can probably put it like maybe right here. Both of them would tell you kind of the same deal, though. It's bouncing there, so expect another one there unless it breaks it.
And that's a short.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, of course, it depends. Tomorrow's Monday. People's had a long, good weekend. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah. People sleep on
Mondays. Pre-market will tell you what's gonna most likely the day be.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. But I don't know what time frame you trade but you kind of zoom out sometimes. Go to a couple higher time frames. Because if you were stuck on the 1 minute, you probably wouldn't have seen this right here. So I usually kind of bounce around. I go check the 5 and I check the 15. I'm still trading the 1 minute at this current time, but I'm still looking just to kind of keep an eyeball on the 5 and the 15, see if there's something I didn't notice. I don't know if you were here when I explained, like, trade this time frame, but I'm looking at the Fisher on the 15-minute too, because it's got its own cycle, and that cycle needs to cycle. It needs to go from the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom on all its momentum. Not just the Fisher, but all other like momentum style oscillators. So where on the 1 minute this thing might cycle 5-10 times here on the 5 minute, it's still going, and it's single cycle. And it's the same thing with the 5 minute or the 15 minute. 15 minutes usually where I watch, because for the day it usually holds the most weight. Like you see here, like it was up here at the top, right off the market open, and it needed, its time. And so it's just steady going down all day. Well, this could help you hold, some puts most of that day. And then
Right.
here in the pre-market, it was so low, so it needs to cycle. Come on, guys, it can't go down much lower than that, right? So
Yeah.
it needs to come back up, and so it done its little cycle here.
Okay.
So that really helps me hold on, kind of longer than I probably would sometimes, for in a good way.
Got it.
Can I ask a
Thank
follow-up
you.
question on the Fisher?
Yeah, what's up?
So when it's in the oversold or overbought, do you wait for the cross to happen first before looking for the signal, or do you just wait for it to kind of be in the above or below the lines?
Well, if you kind of zoom out and look at it, it's the same thing like the RSI. Like if you look right here, you can put like support and resistance lines in these things, in these tools. Like put that line here, and look how many times it gets rejected by that. Boom, 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 boom. And a lot of indicators are like this, like RSI too. It just makes patterns. You can see how many times it gets rejected by that area, and so we could take another line and probably put it in here at the second like high point, that it made, and you can see how many times that gets touched. Boop, 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 boop. All these times, all these times, all these times. So, if you're looking for a short position here, and there was definitely one there, but if you stayed in it, you might kind of look and see. You wouldn't. If it breaks like this area, that's pretty common for it to turn around at, then it's probably heading for that next one, and that's where it's going to turn around at finally.
Okay.
But yeah, all like I've noticed it with RSI, stochastic, MACD, they all kind of make really common points where they just like to kind of bounce back and forth from. I don't know if there's any specific reason for that, but like I can place another line.
Do you think it's like based off of each individual ticker, like it has its own?
Yeah, each one's going to be different for sure. Some of them might go, extended here back and forth like SPY does sometimes, and I've seen some that stay within like these little red lines in that in the Fisher indicator. Like it just doesn't come out of them. I think I want to say maybe Amazon was one of them. No, Amazon's definitely not one of them. Maybe it was on the daily chart or something. No, Amazon's not one of them. Okay. It was one of these that just like they just stayed within the little bands there on the Fisher and just never came out of it. Here's another one of them, just like little trend lines that this thing makes. There's another spot right there. It just makes little trend line through here. You see like the Fisher, like if we're just paying attention to like how this thing makes little trends, which I don't know why it does, so like when it broke that, Amazon had a nice big move. Yeah, so Fisher and Fisher, my lines and visions, really all I really pay attention to. Of course, the lines are, it's the most important part.
Yeah, the lines are everything. My charts now look like a clown because I've got.
Did you make your lines like transparent so they're not very bright?
Some of them, yes, but I'm also using your SNR,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm adding more lines from the monthly and the weekly. And because for some reason, the SNR pulls up the lines from, for example, for SPY in the monthly, it'll pull up the buy signals from, or the signals, but like the lines for buyer zones down below, way down where. And so I have to mark the close buyer zones or the seller zones,
Yeah.
and then go do the same thing on the weekly and the daily. So then I mess with the opacity of the weekly and the daily because I need to see the monthly.
Yeah. Yeah, those are very important. Yeah, I wonder if we can put in something into the SNR where you can, like, I don't know, hit like a paste button. And so you can go like the monthly and the weekly and the daily charts, and where the SNR has lines at, you can just kind of paste them to the chart and they stay there. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
So like we're looking at this Amazon chart in the far left side. There was a crossover in the fissure, but the signal was kind of when the two lines kind of got in the grid. It's called a grid. So like, I guess my question is, if it's like too far away from the crossover, should you just ignore the signal, or are you just kind of just going with the momentum? Then the bear or bull signal is kind of that extra confirmation.
Are you talking about like this bear signal right here?
Well, the bull signal before.
The bull
Kind of
here
got
in the
tongue
pre-market?
tied for a second. Yeah, so you see how in the Fisher you have the cross, but the bull signal is not up directly above the crossover on the Fisher. It kind of comes later after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes what I notice is it's like kind of farther away from that crossover. So is it like, should you just play it safe and just maybe wait for something that's closer to it, or is it just like?
Yeah, I only look to buy and sell when it's extended. Like if like this one, this one I'd be okay with because it's pretty close, and I could see, if I took this and touched it here, it'd be looking like it's gonna start trending up. But this one's pretty low, so I'd be okay with it. But I'll go to the 15-minute and see where its like cycle is, because on the 15-minute, this might be at the bottom, and on the 15-minute, the Fisher's at the top and starting to come down. That's why I switched to like the 15 minutes. Like it kind of like shows you like the day's direction almost. It's not guaranteed, but if the Fisher and the MACD and stuff like that is in the mud, then it's likely probably going to come up for the day. But if it's in the sky and very high, it's likely probably going to come down for the day. So I'll just take a quick peek at the 15-minute. But yeah, since this one's low, I like it. This bear's high, I like it. This bear's high, I like it. This bear right here is definitely too low for me to mess with. This bull's okay because it's down there. Bear's okay because it's at the top.
About the
bull's okay because it's at the bottom.
Bull right before the bear, you said you would ignore.
This one?
Yeah, why would you not, or would you not take that one?
Oh, I would, for sure. I mean, the only reason I wouldn't would be, this like market open right here would have scared me probably for sure. Because when I see something dive like that out of the open, like Tesla taught me this: when it comes out of the open and does this, and it does this, it's gonna do this, and then it's gonna get here to that low that it made, and it's gonna break through it, and then it's gonna eat all my lunch, take all my lunch money. And so when I see something dive like this, and I see it pop back up, most of the time when it gets right here, I'm looking to buy puts as soon as it starts to break that area right there.
Mm.
But other than that, I would have bought the shit out of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you would have held it,
Yeah,
it
that's
would
what
have
I'm
been
saying.
looking good. But I probably would have stopped myself out and said, okay, well, I'll just look to re-enter. If I still feel like it's gonna be bullish, then I'll re-enter. But yeah, there's no reason not to take that. I'm sure, if I went and charted this, I'm sure there's a line right there. I'm sure there's a support.
That's kind of what gets me. Like, I probably would have taken that looking at the Fisher, but then I would have seen that bear signal when it been like, oh God, because I would not. I mean, based off the Fisher, the momentum is still going up, but it's kind of like you see the bear signal, you never really
Yeah.
know. So it's kind of like, do you just take the stop? Do you let it ride because you're like, the momentum's still going up? That's kind of where my struggle point is.
Let me see. Yeah, I probably would have stopped myself out for sure. Because right there, is the pre-market low. And so that definitely was probably where I'd stop out if it broke that and I was in some calls. That's where I'd be like, oh, okay, probably not today. Yeah, but that's part of it. As long as you do that, though, and you keep yourself from holding on to positions like that, because they're not always going to come back in your favor. Hell, most of the time they don't.
Mm.
I think that day people just got tired of it going down for 2 weeks straight.
Mm.
So they started to come in and buy it up. But yeah, definitely would have probably jumped in there.
What if so I think I have to be less stubborn about my stop places, because what if I'm looking at the chart and I'm going, okay, I see it's going to test VWAP again. Cool. I know where it's going. Maybe I put my stop at VWAP. Shoot. But if I am, if it just keeps going and keeps going, and I keep extending my stop all the way to VWAP, like, where do you go? Okay, Mia, get the fuck out. Sorry for cussing, but
I mean, just have a target. Other than your resistances, like you can have your resistance targets. Like, okay, well, if it goes here, I'll take a couple contracts off the table, but just have a percentage. Or like just a dollar amount, whatever you prefer. Like, okay, if I hit a $250, I'm gonna just go ahead and take it. Or if I hit 10%, go ahead and take it.
yeah, but I'm saying for stops.
Oh, on the stop, and just keep moving it up with you. Like if you got in right here at the bull signal, and then you finally got above the VWAP there, you'd move that up and just keep holding it, moving it up. Okay, it's not breaking it. And then once it gets up here, let me try to draw this out here. It made these little couple high points here. And so when it got finally through that, it never broke below VWAP, so you never got stopped out, so you're still holding it. If you got that much patience, congratulations. So your stop would move up to where you seen that it got that resistance. So the high of the day. Okay, so if it whoop, and so tomorrow, let's say the chart kept going, it would likely, if it was just going to stay bullish and keep going, then it would come up and it trickle down here, and then it would come up and finally break above this area, and so that's where you'd move your stop next. And so you're kind of creating like a trailing stop, and so you move your stop up here to that next high point, and then just kind of let it do its thing. And if it wants to keep making high points, eventually it'll come back and it'll hit your stop, and you'll close it.
Got it.
So that's the way to take most of the move. If you had that much patience, I don't. So that's probably the main reason I kind of switched back to the 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Amazon had a good day too. I should have traded this.
Yeah, if you kind of zoom out on a higher time frame, that thing's got a bear flag on it.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. Oof. Rip. Oh yeah, it broke all this consolidation on the low side. Huh. Well, that sucker might be going down. I mean, it is pretty crazy that it's below 3,000. Hell, it struggled for how long to get above 3,500? It didn't really get it to do very long either. Cass, you think Matt or Rhett would be mad if I started trading Amazon?
I think so. I know he's gonna fund his one thing here soon. I think he said this coming week.
Is like in T4 or something?
I think so, yeah.
Hell yeah. The other thing I don't like about Amazon is it's very choppy. Like, there's a lot of gaps in these candles. I'm not a big fan of it.
It's got a lot of low volume just because of how much each share is.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's surprising because I've traded a couple times on options and it makes some good money.
It'll wreck an account too.
Oh yeah, it sure will. Huh. I'll just stick with Tesla. Alright, cool. If nobody else has any questions, I'm going to jump off here and go finish eating my Panda Express from earlier.
Quick question.
Mhm.
So all I was going to ask is, when might you be able to post this recording? And the second question was, I'm one of the people that we were talking about getting access to the Scalper 2. I don't know if I have to refresh TradingView or like how might that happen, but I did send you my TradingView username. So.
Oh, okay. I might not have got it to yet. I'll do it.
Oh.
I'm going to upload this here right after we're done. And then I'll find you and make sure that I get you added to it.
Okay. I mean, that's not a rush, but
No, you're good. You will have to refresh it most likely. Just
Okay.
close your charts and open them back up.
Got it. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to review this before market open tomorrow, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. It usually takes 30 minutes to an hour on a 2-hour video, and this one's only an hour so far. So.
Okay. No worries. Thank you so much.
No problem. Everybody have a good night.
Night, everybody.